All right, this is Takenoko on Board Game Arena. We are all farmers and we are building out this bamboo farm for the emperor who is visiting, and there's a panda going around eating bamboo. This is basically a set collection, uh, fulfilling jobs, different types of action selection, and you're all using a shared board here. So a couple things to look at. So whenever it's your turn, you have various options that you can do, and then you have objectives that you can fill. And these points are the points that you get at the end of the game. The first person to fulfill 8 of these objectives triggers the end of the game, and then whoever has the most points from those objectives wins the game. You can always add more of these. It's one of the options for adding a new objective. All right, so what can you do? Well, you see here is our pond. This is our central pond, and there's a little panda and a farmer. Your 4 options for rolling, or for your turn, in which you can pick 2 things to do, are number 1, add a new plot to the land, where you'll draw 3 and choose 1 to add an irrigation channel. So everything connected to the pond is already irrigated, but things as you get farther out, you need to use these to water those, and they don't grow bamboo unless they are watered. 3, you can move the gardener, which then grows bamboo. 4, you can move the panda, which eats a section of bamboo and gives that to you, which helps fulfill various objectives. And 5th, I said 4, but there are 5 different things you can do, is you can get a new objective card. And you get to choose what type of objective that you pick. So, for example, this is my turn, and for my first action, I decide to place a new garden, and you'll get a choice of 3, and then it shows you all the places that you can place them. Now, some garden plots have special features on them, and some are just blank. So this one doesn't have any features on it, but it is pink. There's 3 different colors: yellow, pink, and green. But some of them have various features on it. So like this one with the water symbol there, that means you don't have to irrigate that plot. And when you place it the first time, it will start with a bamboo grown on it. This one means that you can grow bamboo here, but it will never get eaten by the panda. And then there is one more, which we will see a little bit later, of those improvements. And that is basically whenever a bamboo is grown, it grows 2 instead of 1. That's the other feature that you'll see. So I went here and I chose one of those and I stuck it next to the pond. Note that it is already irrigated because it's touching the pond. So this one is one that the panda can't eat any bamboo when it's here. All right. And then my second objective, I decided to move the panda. Now, it had been a while since I played this game, so I made a few mistakes here. I moved him over here, but again, because the panda can't eat the bamboo, he doesn't get any. I should have chosen the other green bamboo one. Then he would have been able to eat there, and I would have worked towards this objective. Let's talk about the objectives for a second. There are 3 types of objectives. This one is having a configuration of irrigated plots on the map. So in this case, I want 3 that look like this, and you can turn it any way that you want, but they all have to be yellow. They have to be touching in this orientation, and they all have to be irrigated for it to count. This one, so this is called a plot objective. This one's a panda objective. And this one, you just have to eat 2 green bamboo. And by putting the panda there, and they'll collect over in your area. And then finally, this one is called let's see, we did panda, gardener objective. And this one, it's wanting you to have some sort of configuration of bamboo present on the map. In this case, and this one's actually kind of probably the most tricky one, but notice it's 8 points instead of 3. This is saying that you need 4 green plots to have exactly 3 bamboo on it. You'll see later I try to do this, but it actually I never get it. And also the gardener has to be located on that plot. As you can imagine, these gardener ones are typically more difficult than the plot and panda objectives. In fact, you'll see in this game my opponents were hogging up these panda objectives and just doing a lot of those. Those are the easiest ones, even though they're less points. If you get a lot of them, you can quickly end the game. All right, a couple more things. The objectives, you can have up to 5 objective cards in your hand, and you can submit for points as many objectives at once. And so one tactic that people use is they save up a bunch of objectives and then they do them all at once to kind of avoid people from seeing what they're working towards, because you can kind of see, if you see somebody doing something, you might want to try to stop it. Like if they're trying to grow bamboo somewhere or eat bamboo somewhere, you eat it first. Or if they're trying to create some sort of plot configuration, you may want to try to interrupt that. There's a little bit of that in the going, but for the most part, you're just trying to get your objectives going. In this game, for example, the person who won fulfilled 4 objectives on the very last turn to trigger the end of it. Also, the first person to get those 8 objectives gets an extra little objective card that gives them an extra 2 points. So it is nice. There's a little bit of bonus to finishing first, but finishing first does not mean you win. Certainly other people will have another chance to get more objectives. So if they'd been saving 3 or 4 objectives too, and they were close to your score, they may fulfill those all in their last turn and be done. These plot objectives are easy to hang on to because once they're fulfilled, they don't unfulfill, right? You can't unirrigate a plot of land. So if they're done, you can just hold on to them until you want to spend them. Whereas these ones, the gardener ones, usually they require an exact amount of bamboo. So you can't really just, once that's met, you kind of have to fulfill those objectives right away because it might not always be met. All right, I'm going to move forward a little bit in the game here. Okay, so we've all taken a turn. You can see everybody put down a plot of land. This person ate a yellow piece of bamboo. This person took an extra objective card. According to a lot of people, think it's a good strategy to get as many objective cards in your hand as possible. Note that they took a panda objective card. Those are the easiest ones to fulfill. So that's a common strategy to start out, to get up to 5 in your hand all right away. The second round of play, after everybody's taken a turn, you introduce a weather die. And in the physical game, it's a die that you roll. Here it is simply an option that it gives you. And this weather die lets you do various things. In this case, whereas typically you're not allowed to use the same action twice on your turn because you get 2 actions, this one lets you do it. The sun lets you do 3 actions in your turn, but they have to be different. There's one die that lets you move the panda to anywhere on the board, because when you move the panda or the gardener, you have to move them in a straight line. I forgot to mention that before. So like this panda could not move up to this yellow place. It would have to go to the green first and then the yellow, or the blue then the yellow. But if you rolled the die that's, I believe, the lightning, then it scares the panda and lets him move anywhere. There's a couple other, one lets you choose a die face, and one I believe lets you move the gardener anywhere. I don't remember exactly, but they just give you little bonuses during your turn that you're able to do. Oh, and one lets you put a feature on. So note that this has a no panda can eat here. Well, there is a die roll that lets you place a feature like that, or the water one, or the double bamboo one on any tile that exists that doesn't already have a feature on it already. And some of these garden objective cards require that feature to be on there. Like there are some where it says has to be on a green tile 4 high that has this specific feature. And so there's some working around with that you'll see. All right, I'm going to move forward a bit in the game. All right, we're here towards the end of the game. A couple things I wanted to mention that I failed to mention earlier. So we talked about how the gardener and the panda, when they move to a spot, they only can move in straight lines. So this panda can go all the way over here, but it has to move in a straight line. It doesn't have to go all the way. It could stop along that straight line, but it can't curve around unless you have that special weather die. The gardener, when it moves to a tile, it waters that tile, or it grows bamboo in that tile, I should say. But it also grows bamboo in any tile adjacent to it that is also irrigated. So if the gardener comes to this tile, it will also add bamboo to this one because it's also green and adjacent. It's only the same color as well. And this one because it's green, adjacent, and also it's already irrigated because it has that special water feature on it. But it will not grow on this one because it is not yet irrigated, even though it is adjacent and in the same color. And it will not grow on this one because it is adjacent but is not the same color, even though it is irrigated. Just one more time, when a gardener moves to a spot, it waters and grows bamboo in that spot, and then any adjacent, same color, irrigated spots will also get bamboo. Those three requirements. So you can plan that out, and that's good for when you're trying to do some of these gardener objectives. So in this game, I tried to do get some of these plot objectives, because sometimes you get lucky and you draw one of these plot objectives and it's already done on the board. Mine, I wasn't so lucky. I had to build this one and then I drew this one, which isn't even close. I eventually got it, but I had to work to get that one as well. Whereas some of them, they just had a pink cluster here, and that was pretty easy for them to do. But notice most of the ones that they're working on are these panda ones, because those are the easiest to collect. So I rolled this weather die, which lets me choose one of these improvements to put on the die. Note that if you choose one to put on, at least when I played, I could not undo that choice. So be careful when you're choosing which one. Again, this one means a panda can't eat any bamboo there. This one means that it grows 2 bamboos instead of 1. And this one means that you don't have to irrigate it. It's already irrigated. So I chose the irrigation one, and then I realized, oh, I can't place it here. I was wanting to place it here, but this one already has a feature on it, that little symbol there, so it doesn't let me. So I ended up placing it over here in this one. I was hoping to try to get this somehow, try to get this done, but I did not have enough time to do it, because as you can see over here are the objectives that everybody has, 3, 3, and 8. And then here are the different objective cards that people have in their hand. Now, my opponent here has 5 of them, and in their next turn, so I did fulfill that final objective there, and I chose another one. See, when you choose an objective, it lets you pick which one you want to choose, gardener, plots, or panda. I tried plots again, hoping that it would get an objective that existed already. I believe I did. And it wasn't even close. I got unlucky again with this weird one. There's no connection of green and purple, pink and green, so I did not do well with that strategy. And so I went and I tried to grow. I was trying to work on this one. Maybe I can pull this off, because that would get me pretty close to my other players here. Then this person came through and they turned in, so they got this one right here, which is this objective, having 4 bamboo on a green spot with that feature on it. And so they got that 4 there. So they were able to fulfill that objective. Then they fulfilled this object. Like, now they're just putting all their objectives on. See, those 2 they fulfilled, and this one as well. Then they go to the panda, get one more panda thing, and look, they were able to fill their final one, which gets them an extra one. So now that triggers the end of the game, because they hit 8 objectives, and we each have 1 more turn. I wasn't able to do anything at the end of the game, so this basically ended up being the way that it is. So that is a strategy as well. Save up those objectives, put them all at once to kind of force everyone to be in a bad position. This person obviously is a much better Takenoko player than I am, but hopefully this helps you learn a little bit about some of the ideas around it. It's a very simple game, but there's some interesting strategies and ways to use the objectives and save and plan that out. But other than that, it's just moving pandas around, building out plots, irrigating the lands. That's what these lines are for. Anything touching these lines is irrigated. And kind of racing to get the most objectives before the game ends. All right, hope this was helpful. Thanks.